What is up, Wave Squad? Stacey, Ervin Jr. here, and today we're combining two of my favorite things, which is ring training and flexibility. That's right, today we're gonna increase our flexibility through a couple of movements that I'll show you on the rings. And I want to just remind you of something that's super important when you're building a skill, building strength, building flexibility. There will have to be some pain in order for there to be some gain, right? So you don't go to the gym and expect to get, gains if you're not lifting weight that is challenging you, making you sore, and giving you a little bit of that good pain. Well, likewise, when we're talking about flexibility, when we're talking about mobility, it's the exact same thing. So yes, the exercises I will show you today, the movements, positions, are going to be a little bit past your comfort zone. They're gonna challenge you and they may be a little bit painful, but I advise you to make sure that you stay within that threshold. Don't overdo it. Don't try and go way past your limits, but certainly push yourself through these movements today and you're going to see increased flexibility, increased range of motion, and that only helps everything. Strength, health, movement, all of it. It helps everything. All right, so stay plugged in with me for these and let's get into it. Now, before we start, I'm gonna take some essential amino acids or EAAs. I take these before my workouts because it gives me a little bit of caffeine for a boost of energy, but also it keeps me in a anabolic state or not muscle burning, right? So I'm using fats and carbs as a fuel source. By taking EAAs, these essential amino acids, which are the building blocks, the foundations of protein, it gives my body something to digest so I can maintain my energy, I can maintain that anabolic state, and I can get a great workout in. So I'm gonna mix those up and get into this workout. So one of the biggest areas that we're gonna focus on is the shoulders. Shoulder flexibility is really challenging to develop, and it's really, sometimes you wonder, why do I need this, right? How often are we going through life with our arms over our head having to bear weight, unless you're doing something like construction or it's a demand of your job, right? But shoulder flexibility and mobility is crucial for the health of the joint in and of itself, as well as your ability to progress strength, because as you access deeper ranges of motion, you can activate deeper parts of muscles that you've never activated before. So we're going to make sure that we're opening that shoulder joint. We're gonna get loose in an extension and a flexion position, so overhead and behind our backs, and really just try to work those shoulders open for a greater range of flexibility. That is the intention of this. It's not just about mobility warm-up, it's about getting more flexible. So you probably will be sore from these, but that's okay. Treat it like soreness from every other type of exercise. Recover, hydrate, sleep, and get back into it. Persistence pays off. So first thing we'll do is going to be the overhead shoulder stretch. This is something that is extremely beneficial if you do CrossFit, if you do gymnastics, any type of athletics. It's going to help you having that overhead shoulder mobility because you gotta know your body in all planes and ranges, right? Super simple, can be done without the rings, but the reason why I feel it's so crucial to do with the rings is because it allows you that flexibility of that free hang in the suspension training. So regardless of where you're positioned with the rings, as far as standing, kneeling, you want to just make sure that your shoulders are able to sort of depress towards the floor, like your armpits should be reaching towards the floor, right, in this overhead position. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, you can do this by like placing your hands on a seat, some chair, or just a bar in front of you, but what I wanted to explain here is that to increase the flexibility of your overhead shoulder reach, the suspension training from rings gives you the ability to play within that extension, right? So again, you are going to probably be sore from this. You may be feeling new areas of your body that you've never felt before. But as you have that shoulder extension with your armpits pressed towards the floor, I want you to start moving the rings around with your arms straight at first, right? Keep your palms facing the ground as you move the rings. And then try and extend out to the side. See how far you can reach that extension. You should feel that in your chest and shoulders. Again, reach your hands out in front and extend as far as you can. And then try and maintain that extension as if you're making like a snow angel. I don't know how many of you have had the amazing experience of experiencing snow. I was born and raised in Michigan, so I always thought everybody had, but apparently not. But making a snow angel with your hands here, extending out as far as you can, will really give you a sense of your flexibility. Now, go ahead and give yourself a rest if you're following along. And if you're not, just listen for a second. So you want to give yourself a little bit of time to recover in between, as if you were doing any other type of workout, right? Like you wouldn't do a max out set and then give yourself 10 seconds of rest. You kind of give yourself a minute to decompress, think, let your body flush, and regenerate, right? Regenerate that energy. So same thing here. Now we're gonna do a shoulder extension again. However, this time we're going to start bending our elbows to increase those ranges of motion and that flexibility. Now this will be huge for your shoulders, yes, but you will also feel it all up in your chest. All up in your chest, all right? So check it out. We're gonna get ready, get set again. Again, you're pushing your armpits down towards the floor. Go ahead and give it a few extensions. And then I want you to start playing with ranges of motion with bent elbows. Bending your arms from the top. Bending your arms from the side. Woo! Bending your arms at 45. I know you feel the interconnectedness of all of your muscles when you're doing this. Because as I go through here at 45, I feel a slight less range of motion in my right pec than my left. And that just tells me I have an imbalance and I just need to work on this more. So again, you're working through this. You do a couple swimmers, reverse that motion, keep that chest low. Again, this is to increase flexibility, not just warm up, all right? So that's one of my favorites. The next one we'll do is another favorite of mine. Really helps open up not just the shoulders, but your thoracic spine and give your body that ability to really open up and kind of stand up a little bit better as well. All right, so check this out. In the same position that we were just in, extending the hands out in front of us, pushing those armpits to the ground, you want to get into that shoulder extension position. Now what I'd like you to do is turn those palms in so they're facing each other. You can even interlock your hands on the rings if you so choose. I'd say do it. And you're gonna try and bring your elbows in, right? Draw your elbows in towards one another, and then try to extend your chest, your armpits towards the ground. Now again, I feel this all over my shoulders right now, but I also feel it in my lats and on the outside, right in the rotator cuffs, guys. Like these are big places that you just don't typically hit. Oh, try and push that chest to the floor, open up that thoracic spine. You can even give it a little twist side to side. Oh, extend those elbows out from that position. Again, no pain, no gain. If you're really feeling crazy, you can extend your body out. Pull back in. And shake it out. Now those three exercises, the extension with straight arms, bent arms, and the bent elbows overhead, those are all huge for your shoulders, obviously, as we just said, and your chest. So now we're gonna transition into flexion. Now, again, this will impact your chest flexibility as well, but again, the main focus here is on the shoulders and traps and the chest, all of it. Have you ever seen yogis like put their hands behind their back and like fold their hands? Because I have, and I get extremely jealous when I see that because my shoulders have never been that flexible. I don't know if it's just like the fact that I have so much muscle or if it's the fact that I'm not flexible enough or both, but I always strive to get that flexibility. So one of the things I've been working on lately, even though I have not yet achieved that level of flexibility, is increasing my range of motion and the flexion of my shoulders. So that's exactly what we're gonna do here. Now, Today, we're not gonna do it suspended. We will just do it based on the ground and keep our feet planted so we can adjust the strength of the stretch. However, if you do a skin the cat, as it's called, you can hang in the position that we're about to enter in order to, I don't know, maximize the stretch that you get. But first thing we'll do is, you know, step through the rings and have them behind your back. You know, if you're more flexible, your hands will go between your shoulder width. However, mine is just not quite there right now. And what I want you to do with your arms extended behind you in this position is to just rock forward a little bit on your toes and go into a bit of a squat position. Now what this does is open your shoulders up in that flexion position, right? And as you increase this flexibility, you're able again to strengthen deeper sets of muscles that you might not have previously activated. So in order to get a little bit more of an intense stretch on this one, what we can do is how I'm already leaning forward. You can put your feet underneath the rings. Again, keeping your hands behind you and allow your hips to drop towards the floor. Now again, this stretch impacts your chest, but predominantly your shoulders. You want to try and keep your palms faced away from your body as you do this exercise. And you need to be careful because if you've never done a stretch similar or even remotely close, you might feel a lot of tension in your elbows, okay? So be careful about that. And you can adjust that stretch again by adjusting your position towards the rings. Now that is the first of the shoulder extensions that I want to try with you, and that's just a static movement. But we're also going to do a few dynamic movements with the extension as well, or flexion, the flexion as well. All right, as we continue working our shoulder flexibility in the flexion position, this is our next move. Again, you'll kind of be in front of the rings, and it will help if you have a box or something, but you don't necessarily need one, depending on the severity of the stretch that you want, right? So now we're talking elbows bent behind us, and you just want to sink into that. It's like a low dip. Right, and you can even lift your feet off the ground if you really want to get that stretch. But again, you want to try and keep your palms facing in towards your body, and you want to try and press your elbows together in the back. Big stretch for the biceps, the shoulders, the traps I feel, and the lats. And in this position you do shoulder circles. I know it looks a little strange, trust me. It works the muscles differently. Opening it up, sinking back in, and then maybe you extend out into the first stretch that we did, that full shoulder extension. Different stretch if you use different hand position, palms face my head. Stretches a different part of the shoulder capsule. And there you have it for those flexion and extension stretches. And last but not least for today, I want to show you a chest stretch that you can use. This can be used as a warm-up, it can be used for flexibility, whatever you need. But if you're standing in between the center of the rings and you turn that shoulder under, you can lean forward on that, giving your shoulder a nice stretch. And then for the chest, using that same position, bend that elbow and push that chest towards the floor. Now again, you can do the same thing for the other arm. I highly recommend that you do. Extend that shoulder first. Bend that arm. Get that chest towards the floor. You can do them individually and do them both at the same time. Again, this is a huge stretch for your chest. Increasing that range of motion for bench, any type of push movement really. And you go through those for about 30 seconds each, 2 or 3 times. and trust me, you'll be sore, but you will be on your way to increasing your range of motion and your overall flexibility. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you really use these. I'm not joking. It will help your upper body feel so much better. Flexibility in your joints, coupled with strength, just make you feel powerful and capable. So please use these and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, turning on those post notifications so you know when we come back with a new video. Guys, as always, the links to my merch, First Form stuff, all that, all affiliate things that I use on the regular, the links to those are in the description, plus my coaching. So if you want to get coached one-on-one by me, feel free to sign up and I got you. Those ring stretches are what I got for you today, Wave Squad, so I hope you enjoy it, I hope you use it, and I'll catch you in the next video. This is Stacey Ervin Jr. signing off. Ride the wave.